Take two. I'm back. That wasn't a good ending. I had to go to talk to my babe. So hopefully I get my audience back to finish up. But if not, I understand. I did want to close out properly. Hey, Bree Bree. Welcome back. He's like, oh man, babe, I'm sorry. I sure thought about that after the fact. I was like, yeah, you messing up my life. So he said he gonna make sure he coordinate next time so he don't interrupt my live. And he said hi to the people that's on. Be glad when they let my baby out. We be so limited in time. We only have 10 minutes to talk, and it may be once or twice a day, if that long. You know you can't wait to get out and be around us all. They some jive turkeys, boy, I tell you. But yes, so where was I? I know I was on us manifesting, experiencing the things that we believe in. It is manifesting our lives just because of who God is in us and not so much of what we're doing, but it's his way of showing us his unconditional love and where we can build our faith and trust up in him. Okay. I know, right? Yes. Them 10 minutes come on through. They be quick and fast. I did get to see them yesterday too. Yes, trusting the process. We definitely have to trust the process. If you was on there, that is one thing that I did mention about us trusting the process, because it is a process, and in order for us to really become in our truth and walk in that purpose with confidence and boldness is to go through that process and get that understanding about the things that it is that we need to know about ourselves and what we need to know about that spirit that's within us, that guides us, that leads us, that really give us the blueprint to what we need to do to live that life of peace and happiness and that wholeness. Is really important for us to become whole, because we be broken up in so many different ways, just from the different experiences, the different people that we experience in our life, and all of that plays a part in who we become. So in order for us to become whole, we have to do that work in the inside. We have to ask those questions just to bring that clarity, because we don't know. And if we don't know, how can we make sense of anything that we're going through in our life? How can we get to a place to where we're not stuck in the past and where we're not worried about the future, or even worrying about what other people think? Because what other people think, if you are being a demonstration of who you are and who God is in you, then what people think is not going to matter, because you will be proof. And that is what Dr. Sharon Nesbitt was saying yesterday. If your faith and what you say don't line up with what you're talking about and what you profess, then that's fake. That is fake news. It's not real, because you are not showing who God is in you. So if we're speaking of God, and that is our great, now that's one thing that motivates me, y'all. Now I can play all of the day with me and my little ego, but when it comes up to me being a representation of who God is in me and what I believe, my life reflects it. And my faith and how I deal with things and how I'm able to be calm in situations. Even when I get upset, I know how to have that self-control to not let it spill out on other people. For the most part, if I have to take that, if I have to remove myself, then I'm going to do that, because I know there's work still need to be done. And me, and I'm taking it one day at a time, so I had to get in that space also, because I don't want to be that person that put guys on a high pedestal and all that he does for me and who he is in my life, and then I don't do the work. it doesn't demonstrate who I am. But I always thank God for the heart and the spirit I had. I had to grow to that understanding of what it meant and what it was. Because at one point in my life, it was like I was crazy. I was dumb. It was crazy for how I believed and trusted in people. And you still can't trust in people, but I trust in God and I trust in who he is in me. So all I can be concerned about is who I am and who I want to be and who I represent. And that keeps me on the path of becoming better and better and continue to manifest them things in my life and continue to build up my confidence as I continue to walk in my purpose and walk in my truth, because that is our only way. And that is where our power come in. And that is what I want to do, to reach people and help them break down those walls and those barriers and those things that keep us away from who God is in us. And the only way we got disconnected from God was of this world and being conform to this world and being controlled by what other people think and say about us, and also being controlled about what other people do, to the point it makes us upset and changes who we are to where we can't walk in our truth. When we stop being who we are and stop loving and stop being able to socialize and communicate with people, we are disconnecting who God has for us. We are disconnecting from that spirit within us. And we cannot do that, because I believe in God. I believe in that power within us, and he is the greatest. So if we walking in that truth and walking in that purpose, then we are being a demonstration of who God is in us. And I believe that is why we have to do the work in ourselves. So when we have that opportunity, when we encounter people, we are that demonstration. We are an extension of God's love. And that is why we have to show ourselves compassion. We have to love ourselves like we'll love the next person when we don't do the things that we know we should be doing, or we fall short, because we are who we are. And we have to accept that, but we also have to become aware and then say, yes, this is who I am. This is who I want to be, because I am in touch with my God, and I know what brings me peace. I know what brings me happiness, and I'm going to live in that truth, and I'm a walking, and that is where my focus is. That's where my fight is. And that's where I'm going to continue to walk in, because I know this is the blueprint. This is my way to my peace, and where you can really get to that place of where really create your destiny, really walk to that place and live in a place that's meant for you. Because God did not mean for us. He did not create us to go through what we've gone through. We going through what we're going through because this is the way of the world. And we have to get in touch with ourselves and discover ourselves and just connect with that. And I'm here to help, and I want us all to join together in that, because I know we all have a story. We all have overcome something. We all have a purpose that we done tapped into. A lot of people are already, showing that, and it is a process. Yes, you have to love yourself first. And what I think about and what I think and why I embrace my journey in the way that I do is, when I didn't even know how to love myself, God was loving me, and he was placing people in my life that loved me when I didn't love myself. So that makes me, and that also builds my faith up in God and who he is in me, because when I didn't know no better, he still loved. His grace and favor has blessed my life in so many ways, to where that's that love and kindness, that where he corrects you in a loving, kind way. And that's how we have to correct the people that we encounter in a loving, kind of way, and meeting them where they are, so we can do that. But in order for us to approach people with this type of approach and this type of acceptance, where you can accept people for who they are and not judge them, is to get in that place. Know what you done went through and what you done embraced, and how God has been patient and have showed you grace and favor over your life. That is the same extension of love and grace and unconditional love he wants us to extend to others. We have to get out of our way of the ego, of what we done identified as, when it's not even the truth of who we are. Like, we have to get out of that, because that is what taints our communication with one another. That's what stop us from walking in our truth, because we have to feel like we have to dumb ourselves down, or we have to stay in our comfort zone and not step out and not speak that truth and love because the person not ready for it, or we not ready, or we not at a place to where we can communicate in that way, in that loving, kind way, and still be effective, and let a person know that, okay, it's okay where you at. I'm not judging you where you at. I'm really here to help you. I'm really here to connect with you. And whatever it is that we need to do and put into perspective to get to where we're going, then that's what we're going to do. I'm not fighting against you. I'm fighting with you, and I'm fighting for you because I believe in the power and the love that we have within ourselves. We just have to get in perspective and stay focused on where it is that we want to go. So, with that being said, where is my question? The question that I ask, what is it that you're committed to? And Quita, if you rejoin, I know she had mentioned that she was committed, and something that is my commitment as well is to connect with my brothers and sisters, and I believe we are brothers and sisters in the spirit of God. It's one love. And with that is how we understand each other. I believe that from here on out. That is how we connect with strangers who believe to be strangers that we have never met before, but we can connect and talk, and it'd be like we've been knowing each other forever, because that's just how God works within us. And so what are we committed to where's my question, y'all, that I wrote in here? I should have pinned it to the top. I get better. I'm going to get better. And that's another thing, practicing. I have to get out of that place to where, you practice. You don't become perfect, and you don't get to perfect your skills not doing it and not doing what it is that you need to do. You do it, you get better, and you grow, and you continue to expand by continually doing it and not stopping. If I can get on this, I can't remember the question. But it's what are you committed to that you stand for? What do you stand for? That you can't be moved. And what is it? What do you stand for? Yeah, I have a get out of God's way. But when you say share with me, if you don't mind, just elaborating what it is that you so is that what you mean when you say we have to get out of God's way and let him do his work in what light? Is it what I'm basically like speaking of? I just want to make sure that I am receiving what you're saying about letting him do his work. Like, what specific work are we talking about? And what are some ways that we get in a way? That's a better question. What are some ways that can help people identify how we get in the way of God's work? Because some people may not understand that when they are, just being true to who they are and what they believe in what they believe is. So when we speak in those terms, we have to be clear in what we're saying for people that may not know God and how he communicates to us. So what would be some of those things that we do that get in the way of God? Yes, that is a good thing. We at times try to handle situations on our own instead of being still and letting him be God. That is one thing I learned about the power of intention and not reacting in that moment when you are sure of who you are and what you want. And that's part of self-control. When you're sure of what your purpose is and how you want to react and how you want to be seen. Yes. And how you want to be seen, especially in light of God and who you praise and who you lift up and you give all the glory to for all your blessings and your happiness in your life, then that has to be the demonstration, because that's when people will question the God that we serve or the Jesus that we serve and that we lift up. That is when we have our own plan and want it right now. Microwave mentality. Yes, exactly. That is going back to trusting the process. We have to be still because we don't always know where it is we're going or what the plan is. And that can be from conforming to the world and the pressures of society or people in your circle that may put that type of pressure on you. And that's why sometimes people don't even want to share what they doing, because they feel like people have the power to stop them from doing it because they don't share it. I don't have that experience because I believe in the power of God. Like, if it's for me and it's my assignment, no one can get in the way but me. I'm the only one that can get in the way of me not moving ahead with God's assignment on my life, with my purpose, because I'm the only one responsible for it. No one else is responsible for it. And if we are allowing that to happen, that means you're not in control. God is not in control. You're letting external people and factors be in control of what is your destiny. And so when that happens, then yes, you definitely need to be still. But one way in that is being aware. That's where self-awareness come in at, where you have to know, you be still. And this is something I brought up a while back about the only thing unchanging in our life is who we are. We are the only ones that is unchanging. Our minds, our emotions, our feelings change constantly. But we are the only one that's not moving. The base of who we are, our very being, is the only thing is unchanging. And we really have the opportunity to step back in those moments that we do need to be still. That's why I love Psalms 23, because even if we don't be still, the way God loves us and teaches us and builds us up, He will lead us beside those still waters. And you will know when God has stepped in and set you still. So regardless if you be still or not, when you are in that journey and when you're going through the process and God is involved in that process, He will get to you by any means necessary, because you are His responsibility when it comes to that. And when you're seeking Him and you're broken, then He communicates in the spirit like that. But when you have to step back, and when you experience that, say for instance, you are upset, like you get into some type of argument, or sometimes arguments can go for bad. You'll be in a conversation and a conversation go for bad. You can feel that emotion well up in your chest, and your heart probably start beating fast. In that moment, be aware of you changing. That you moving from what was a good place to a negative place, a good place, and you step back. That is that moment you be still. You say your prayer, you do whatever you have. And then if you are in a place to where you can really open up, especially if you're involved in having a conversation with someone else, this helps build relationships and trust in relationships, especially when you are in a place or on a level where you can step back, deal with those emotions. That person don't need to know that emotion, because that's a personal problem. Anytime we get moved, we done gave the power up, we gave up the ghost. So we have to just, be quiet, be still, and try to be open to receive. I don't think we practice that enough to really get out our way and be open to receive someone else, because that's what it's about. Love and unconditional love is a selfless act. So when you are trying to show somebody that you're not judging them, that you are open to try to hear them, or you trying to see them, if you are truly in that place, then you're going to step back and try to really hear where that person is coming from. And then just listen. Don't even have no comeback at this point, because you already battling in your spirit. So you don't need to say nothing at that point, because you're aware of where you at this place emotionally. And this is called emotional intelligence. And you step back from that place and you hear that person, and then you go to God and you listen to God. And that when that meditation comes into play, you listening for the answer. You said a prayer, you have a request, you want understanding, you want to know how to fix a situation or how to be the change in this situation, and use those opportunities to really grow with someone and not grow apart from someone. And then you don't never need to have that reason to cut somebody off, because you have taken the time to listen to yourself, listen to that person, and then listen to God and respond in the way that God will have you to way, in the way that he responds to you when he is correcting you or when he is getting to you. And we never, because God give us free will. It's a free will, and we do have that choice. So in that free will, that's what we're going to do. That is what we're choosing to do. And that's how we really can change those communication problems that we have, to where we blow up, we get ignorant, that ain't no coming together. It's just a blowing, we not talking. And then we stubborn. That ain't nothing but egos. That is not the Spirit of God and work in us when we get to that place in our life. So when I see that, that's what I want to do. And that is how I've always wanted to, that's what I've always strived to communicate with people. And when I didn't know how to do, that's the only way I knew how to protect my peace, y'all, is just to be quiet and get away from the situation. So I understand when people say, I'm cut them off. By any means necessary, I'm going to protect my peace. But the way God wants us to operate, that is not our to go to. Our to go to is to reach that person where they at and try to resolve that situation in a loving, kinding way. And that just shows us, again, a demonstration who God is in us. And that changes, that shift people. That alone can shift people in a situation. So just being patient with ourselves and taking that time. And that's the time. They're taking it one step at a time. That's that one step at a time when you get to that place to where you need to be still. Be still. So that's what we're doing. And that's our number 6 way to show our self-love. Yes, he does hears us, and he wants us to definitely be at a place to where that is not our go-to. And I'm forever striving for that. It's not one thing that I have listed in my 8 ways to show yourself love that does not apply to me. It's something that I've experienced and that I walk through, and that I have to remind myself every day. Sometime I have to stay in awareness of that, and just knowing this is how I want to communicate. And I'm not even getting mad at myself when I get upset, because I do. When I get upset and I want to rah and just, because it's natural. It's who you are. So you have to accept that, but also you have to accept the fact that you are a work in progress, and you got your eye on the prize, and you know who you are, and you're going to continue to get better and better and better. You just it's an everyday, it's a lifelong journey. And long as we in the fight, and the good fight, it is priceless. Yes, you most certainly will. There's a peace like no other. Yes, and when you do that, you can truly embrace you can embrace that journey. So when you're embracing that journey, when you knowing that, then how do we keep going back there? There's like a place you don't even want to leave from. You don't want to leave from that place. When you acknowledge that is an error that God is changing. And that's also in the word. Tanisha, you can help me in that word when he says that those fights, sometimes that's between you and him, and it's for you and him to work out, because it's our unique being. We need God for different reasons. We have different struggles that we are struggling with, and he's going to bless us with the people in our life that's going to help us. I believe that that everyone that we cross is going to be a reason. It's a blessing. and it's going to be opportunity for you to be a blessing or that person to be a blessing in your life. So when we are communicating like that, yes, we definitely have to fight together. When we communicating like that, it goes back to the iron sharpening iron as well. That's how we build each other up. That's how we heal through our the pains that we have gone through in life. And we okay, because that's just how God made us. We are not to be defeated. And that is something that I am so glad I got to a place. That was my story at one point, but that's not my story no more. That was in the past. I can look back and see where I came from, but I know who I am right now, and that's just not going to be a place. I don't have room for that anymore. I don't have no time for that type of energy in my life when I know how great God is to me and I know how blessed I am. So I just choose not to do that. And when I get to a place to where I feel tempted, I don't want to be provoked. So if I know there's a provoking situation, then I thank God for that discerning spirit to where I don't walk into that temptation. And when I do fall in it, again, we don't be perfect. We are perfect in the love of God. We are perfect in who God is in us and how we are created. Yes, I think it is in Romans too. I got it highlighted somewhere. I highlight all the scriptures that confirms and speaks to what the Spirit has spoken in me, because the church is really in you. The word of God is in you. How can it not be when God is in you and that Spirit is flowing through your blood, through that life, and life is an energy. So in that being said, we have the blueprint in us. We really do. And yes, we got to keep going. It ain't no stopping. If we stop, the world just gonna pass us on by, because you see this time is not stopping for nothing and nobody. We finna be halfway through 2021. It's finna be May. Yes, we are the church. So with that being said, we have to walk in that. We have to demonstrate what that looks like in our life. So again, standing in that. Yes, standing in there. What we standing for tonight, y'all? What do we stand for? Y'all know what I stand for. What are we standing for? And that's why I said, now you put me up against how God is and how I represent. I'm like, now wait a minute now. I can't make my God look bad. So I got to be a good representation of who he is in me. So yes, we standing on that. Standing on God's love. Now that's the blueprint, right? We can't go wrong with that. Peace, love, and unity. Yes, we cannot go wrong in that. And we won't go wrong. We will continue to prevail. Love conquers all. Sometimes I be like, God, now you just got this love, the thing that I got going on, and how I see it, and how it's like the answer to everything. And then when I see how other people express about love, and then especially when I hear our believers express about love, I'm like, we not demonstrating love right. If God is love, there's no wrong in that. That is the greatest gift of all. It never fails. So we have to be good representations of what love looks like and what it means. And we are all love. Does everyone on here believe that they are love? That you are genuinely and truly love? That you are a form of love? Do everyone believe that here? I hope so. Because that is what we standing for. And that is what wins. That's what's going to always win in our lives and other people's lives as well. So I just want us to get in alignment with that. Yes, we are. We cannot go wrong. Yes. And when you love yourself, you loving God. We are an extension of God's grace. We are an extension of his creation. So when we have to own that, and owning that, we walking in our purpose, we walking in our truth when we are saying we are extension of God's grace. If we believe in God's word and who he is in us, and whatever it is that motivates us, that keeps us going, that keeps hope alive, that is a extension of the love that God breathes in us. And that's what we have to demonstrate. We have to own that, like right now. Like Dr. Sharon Nesbitt said, it's now. It's now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not in the future. It is right now. We have to demonstrate who that is and who God is in us. Because He done showed us that my faith cannot be questioning who God is in me. If anything that's stopping me is not God, it's me. It's not me, because God has done His work in us. God has already done what He needs to do in our lives. We just have to trust in that. We have to believe in what we believe in and what we speak at our mouths. That is our faith, because we know who God is already. We don't have to do anything. God doesn't have to really do anything else for us, because He is already shown us over and over and over and over again. Every day He shows us who He is in us. So we have to show Him how we lift Him up and glorify Him, and how His love, grace, and mercy is not in vain. By being that, by loving ourselves, we are loving God. Because when we love ourselves, we know the goodness of who we are. We accept who we are. We know our worth. We know the gifts and talents that God has given us. And now we are walking in that truth. We didn't always know this, because this is not how it was taught to us. That's why God had to step in. That's why he even sent the Spirit with us. That's why Jesus walked the walk that He walked, for that Spirit to dwell in us, because He knew that is all we needed. That is all we needed. The work that has to be done now is for us to get in alignment with that Spirit in us, because the Spirit has been the same since the beginning of time and times before the times. That same Spirit has not wavered. That word has not wavered. The only change in the word is people deliverance of the word, their experience of God that may be different. Otherwise, that Spirit is unchanging. So we have to get in alignment with who God is in us, because He shows us, and He is patient with us. He's very patient. Thank God for patience. Thank God for His unconditional love and for His unwavering faith. He don't waver like we waver. God is a unconditional God. He does not waver. So nothing that we can do stop God from doing what He's already done in us. We just have to get there. And once we get there, it is on and popping. We are untouchable from that place in our lives. We are really untouchable, because that is the scripture. If God is with us, who can be against us? No one. We can only be against ourselves. Like I said, we are the only one. We do have that power. He gave us that choice. He gave us a being. We just our being. He gave us that to where we can really sit back, look at the situation, and make a decision. Like we really can. It's up from there. It really is. It is up from there. He gave it to us. So it's nothing more that it's nothing really more that God needs to do for us than what He's already done. It's what we need to do to show. It's that demonstration. Once He manifests us, now it's the demonstration that we have to demonstrate, so others know that what we talking about is the truth. It is the truth, because we are walking in that truth. And the only way is to do that is by action. Love is an action word. And that's how we demonstrate. Demonstration is action. So that's where we are moving in. Look at this little girl. So that is where we like, hey, Britt. Yes, the light. We are walking in the light. This is my little bestie right here. Hey, tell everybody hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. So, yes, we walking in that love and we walking in that light. And I'm glad everyone is on that page, because I know together, we continue to grow. We can network. We all have gifts. Everyone on here, everyone has someone that some gift and talent. And we're going to have a great time bringing people together with the love that shines inside of us and the gifts that God has graced us with. Alex said, hi, Gia.
Hi, Alex.
Everyone said hi. This little girl. So, yes, I thank y'all for joining me. It's always a joy. And that's one thing, too, that fulfills us is connecting with others and being there. God don't want us to be independent and closed off and to ourselves and like that, because that ain't what he created us for. He created us to love one another and to work together and put good into the world. So that's what I'm living up to. That's where I've gotten in alignment to do, is to do that work that's just in me. It's who I am. It's always, and I love the feedback, that I get just from being me. Before I even came to a place to where I wanted to do life coaching, it just has been something natural in me, and that I wanted to express myself in a more open way than what I was. And I just had to go through the process, and my heart and mind was set on it, and eventually things started to manifest in my life, and now I am walking in that demonstration. I am continually growing and learning, and just being open to connect with people and collaborate with people, because we can't do it alone. We definitely need to stick together and just show just how that works, how God works in us, and how when it does and we obey him and we walk in that light, then we can be that example. We can be that proof, and it ain't even nothing to be talked about. It is not even nothing to be, which it may be talked about, but it's not nothing that's questionable in our heart or in our mind, because we know we are walking with purpose, and we're walking with meaning. So, y'all, thank y'all for getting back on here with me after my boo came in and interrupted our programming. I love y'all for coming back. And I just love y'all for being here and sharing and engaging in this conversation. I will be back tomorrow at 7 with the number 7 way to show yourself love. And we're going to continue on doing this work and spreading love, because that is who we are. We are love. So y'all have a good night, and I will talk to y'all later. Say bye.
Bye, guys.